all know. Uh, I've been part of the Wikipedia movement since 2007 or so. Maybe 2006. I started as an IP editor and registered my first username in 2000, somewhere in 2007. That's when I actually started editing Wikipedia on a larger scale. And by 2009 I realized that there's a lot of lack of publicity for the Wikipedia movement in India. So I hosted one of the first regular meetups in Bangalore that happened in my house. So that's my starting of my Wikipedia evangelism in the real world. So it's my shift from the offline world to the real world. And interestingly, uh, I could say that I'm a person who is a classic example of Wikipedia changed life. So while 2009 when I started promoting Wikipedia on newspapers and social media, I didn't realize today I will quit my 10 years of software engineering career and move to a full-time public relations role. It all started with actually doing the public relations and social media for Wikipedia. So I'll just run through a few slides to show some of the examples how you can actually convert some of the stories into powerful newspaper coverage. So that's just a background of me. I started this volunteer movement for public relations for Wikipedia sometime in 2009, which we have been very successful in creating a media coverage in all the traditional medias in every aspect of Wikipedia in India. Yeah. So sometime in 2009, the reason I am showing through this example is to show how you can actually convert different possibilities into news coverages. So sometime in 2009, there was a news in BBC and Wall Street Journal that the Wikipedia is actually losing editors. So I saw this an opportunity, and during that time we were doing the first meetups in Bangalore. So I thought, let me convert this. There's a lot of buzz around it, and Indian publications actually republished this story. So I thought, let me put a different story to them and show them how Wikipedia is actually growing in India. So the result was that we were able to tell different stories on how Wikipedians are growing in different parts of India. So this got coverage in many of the publications like DNA, Deccan Chronicle, Bangalore Mirror. It started like that. So when I started, my influence was only in the Bangalore media, and that's why we started doing like this. So another example of how you can convert a negative news to a positive story is that when there was a terrorist attack which coincided with Ajmal Kasab's birthday, and somebody actually changed the birthday of Ajmal Kasab on Wikipedia, and and they attributed this as the reason for the terrorist attack. So and it started. So Wall Street Journal and everything. These publications usually they look for anything that shows that they could possibly show Wikipedia in a negative light. So whenever this small thing happened and somebody changed Kasab's birthday on Wikipedia, they attributed it to the terrorist attack. So then we worked with some of the publication to show, no, this is not, also to show how Wikipedia works to the people. And this is what we got caught at, right? It's all about verifiability and not necessarily the truth. So whether readers and editors can check the material that's published by a reliable source. So through this story we were able to show how Wikipedia actually works. We also show that although Ajmal Kasab's Wikipedia article was changed for a moment, there are a lot of editors who changed it, reverted to the correct one within a few seconds. So all these kind of examples we could show that how Wikipedia works to the people. So the other example was when the Wikimedia Foundation was starting the pre A2K program in India called India programs. So I started a activity to showcase that Wikipedia is starting an office in India, and which got covered in most of the national media. So it's about finding the right news and making it no, bigger. So there was another time when I came across the information that India is number 6 donor to the Wikimedia Foundation in terms of monetary contributions. So everybody knows about the annual donor campaign. So this, if you look at one way, the number 6 is not a big fact. But then the way I was able to project this, it got covered in most of the media. So it's like India ranks number 6 in donation to Wikipedia Wikimedia movement. The fact is that the previous years also it was like number 6, but it's how you actually project that news, how you actually make it newsworthy. So the other different examples of that you can do with news coverage is whether getting the right lobbying for something like. We work with lot of policy changes to remove copyright. So this article that came in the Financial Chronicle, which said Wikipedia says Indian government should ease copyright curbs. So recently we have seen that the human HRD ministry, human resource ministry, they decided that all their all their information they are going to put it into public domain to create comments. So these coverages. So when we were actually when some of the people were contacting these government officials, they showed this kind of news coverage to actually say that this is the public opinion about it. So the other things is yeah, we could all I helped in the different coverage over the years for the fundraising. So it actually showed that the fundraising to the foundation actually was growing every year. So one year when it was $50,000, the next year it jumped to 20,000. Sorry, $2 lakh. So I'm not attributing this only to the press coverage, but a lot of activities that happens around it. But then, like you said, every press coverage adds a value to it. It actually creates public opinion. It actually shapes public opinion about it. And whenever there is an event, there is a contest like the Tamil Wiki photo contest. When there is a even new meetup happening in a different place, we always contact the local media and try to get a good story about it. So what you see on the events is that there was a contest in Tamil Wikipedia to photo contest, so that got covered in a lot of articles. So basically it's about finding newsworthy articles that you can produce to the media. And one of the things that you have to understand that you cannot get stories by just having a contact number or an email ID of a journalist. People assume that you write a press release and then you send it to all the publications that you know. It just goes to the dustbin in a very literal sense. Now people get bombarded, journalists gets bombarded with thousands of press releases every day. So they are not going to look at one of your press releases. So one of the things that I have developed is bringing a relationship with the journalist up forward. So if you are actually planning to have an event sometime in 3 months or 6 months, develop a relationship with those particular journalists that you might want, and then talk to him, talk to you about, tell them about Wikipedia, tell them about what Wikipedia does. So by the time you have a major event, a major happening, you will be ready with a journalist with the story. So we got a lot of prominent coverage in all the national publications, the magazine like Outlook, Week, Open Magazine. Uh, remember, will actually a lot of, so that has some of the press coverage that we have been getting. Uh, One of the best practices that you have to do is that uh, when you do a coverage, have Wikipedians in standby to talk to them. Many of the people may not be very well versed in talking to Wikipedia journalists, so you can actually coach them in advance, teaching them what to talk and what to speak. That's one of the things that I've been doing. What else? The other thing that we have to remember is that journalists work on a very tight deadline. You cannot say that okay, I'll get back to you later and forget it or get back on the next day. So most of the times when we get opportunities, that's like when we are actually maybe traveling from your office to your home, and that's when you get a call from a journalist asking for a quote or a story or a possible story. Then you may have to pull over your vehicle and talk to them and give the you know whatever needed at that point. So one of the things is that the agility that you have to work with journalists. Uh, you cannot expect them to always get back to you later or you get back to you later. So whenever you can uh, give information, you have to give in that that particular time when it is required. Newsers don't wait for a longer period. So it's that agility that needs most with working with a journalist. I know most of you are very familiar with social media, so I'll touch a little bit of that. The reason people call me as Twitter celebrity, but then the reason I came to Twitter is actually again to evangelize to Twitter. So I was holding this first. Yeah.
Sorry, before you go to social media, just on print media.
Yeah.
Like I'm looking at Go as an example right now. There are limited number of good newspapers or popular ones. If they've already covered a topic on Wikipedia in 1 week, they don't want another story 2 weeks after.
True.
So how do you help? How do you excite them?
It's always about, see, every journalist or every publication wants exclusivity. So you will have to work with different publications at different times. There are times when we have a major story like the Wikimedia Foundation office coming to inside each publication that best suits you. So that's how it happened. So let's say I'm doing that, I want to do on that financial story about donations. So then you have to target a publication like Economic Times or Financial Chronicle or something related to that. So each time, if you give exclusivity to a journalist, they always respect you. So then you can actually round robin. So I have contacts with a lot of journalists in Hindu, but whenever I have a new story, I go to one of them. So the next story I'll go to a different one. So that is how you can actually round robin between them. If you have a big news, that is potentially big news like the one I said, you can go to any media all at the same time. But when you have other times when it is not potentially big news, you have to target a particular journalist that you think can work with. There are times when I am comfortable with a different journalist because that journalist will have a better understanding about something. So let's say I am doing something on copyrights and all those stuff. I will be comfortable with a particular journalist who will understand better that subject. So you'll have to pick and choose who best suits you to convey your message. Do I answer that? So it's all about, like I said, everybody wants exclusivity, everybody wants a scoop. But then rotate your interaction with different journalists. So have your contacts, multiple contacts even within a single publication. I think a good question. Like before I go to social media, I can take some questions on that.
How do you engage? Like the first step of engaging the journalist, like because see, if you approach one newspaper and they'll put up our story, then the next newspaper they won't be that reluctant to, because they might feel that you're biased, and that's the reason why you gave previous one an opportunity to publish a story.
If you can cleverly rotate that engagement, I'm telling you, because now I've moved into a full-time public relations role. So if you can actually, like I said, everybody wants exclusivity and everybody wants scoop. But then if they also understand that, okay, you will actually come to them to a good story later, they'll be happy to do that.
And the basic engagement, the first contact with the journalist, because
So how do you build that relationship? It's a tricky thing. It's pure networking. You might find this person in a social event. You might I've seen I've head on journalists in very social event and family events when I know this person is a journalist or senior editor working with you know uh, some publications. I'll go and introduce myself, and or I'll get somebody to, if there is a common person, I'll ask them to introduce me. So that is how you start that engagement. It's basic networking, and you can also ask some of the journalists, okay, do you have this contact in this publication? Depending on your level of relation with that journalist, they will actually get you to other journalists. So I had a contact with the Economic Times that I've been working with for so long. He moved to a different publication. And then I lost my major contact in that publication. So I asked him, can you redirect me to somebody, and I said, can you redirect me to a friendly journalist in, say, ET? So then they will be happy to connect each other. And you will also keep giving the stories to all, so they will also be happy. Yeah.
What
I can remember a classic example in which I was talking to one of the publication and regarding that Wikimedia office coming to India story. So they asked me what are the chances of so the office location was not finalized. So they asked me what are the chances of Bangalore being the possible office center. I said Bangalore is a good choice, considering that we have a very vibrant community and a large Wikipedian crowd here, which helps. But then it's up to the Wikimedia Foundation to decide where the office has to be. So this is the entire conversation that I had. The next day I got quoted that Tinu Cherian, Bangalore Wikipedian says that Bangalore to be the next wiki capital of India. So the article headline was Bangalore, the wiki capital of India. So it's very natural that you get misquoted, and the way it works with journalists that they don't usually share the stories with the draft with you. The at most you can ask them is to at least share a quote of yours. So but even when I make that a requisite with people, give me what I am quoted or what the main extract of the story, they get back to me only like 2 of the 10 times. So be aware that you will be misquoted, but the only way you can prevent that is to continuously talk with them, and before the story goes online or the print, get to understand what exactly the journalist got to you.
Yeah, thank you. It's not a solution, but one mitigation of not getting misquoted. Especially, this is something that I use when I talk to the journalists, because most of the conversations happen over the phone or on Skype. You hardly get to meet them physically. Is to speak in a slow pace, okay, and stress, especially when you're giving data, repeat it twice or thrice, right? And especially if you're talking to a journalist in the night, you need to be much more careful because they are rushing towards a story, right? So it has even I burnt my hands. You know, my data was misquoted, my quotes were misquoted, and I was pulled up by Wikipedia, right? Not on the public mailing list, but definitely in other circles. And it often happens. Even after you do all of this, still there are chances that accidents happen. Accidents are meant to happen, right? So misquoting is meant to happen, and there is nothing that one can do.
Just to add then, I'll come to you. Just to add that it's a very good point. Repeat the facts again that you want to stress on. The other good thing that I do is right after the conversation, I'll ask for the email ID of that person. Right after the conversation, within an hour or so, I will write to that person with all the facts that all the quotes, all the figures, all the important points that I've told over email too, so that that works most of the time. But there are times when they are like rushing on a story on a late deadline, they might not look into that. But make it a practice to reply to that journalist. Ask for that their email ID. They will always give you. Or if you already have that, use that. But reply to them with all the facts and figures and all the main points by mail. So that is one thing that I've realized that it helps you not being misquoted. I'll just come to you as a suggestion.
In Telugu, poetry is very seriously, we take it print out. It's like a news item print out, literally, because we have a Telugu Wikipedia, we have some journalists also. We ask them just write about the event, and we just distribute the physical copies to everyone. So that if they forget anything also, they take it, most of the Telugu people, with Telugu press, they get extra influence from the press note or any kind of writer. So they never listen to, especially I'm talking about number of people, numbers, something. There's always, you can just put a copy. If you don't have any printed one, you just make it in a slip and give it to them so that your numbers be, what you call, presented correctly.
Yeah, you're right. But that helps only if the journalist is actually covering that event.
No, when you spoke also, you just have a slip of
No. When you're actually meeting that journalist over that event, but 90% of the times, it's not that event that you'll actually be talking on the phone. You'll actually interacting over the email. That helps when you're actually physically meeting that person. But no, events are one of the very few. Like when you want to have press coverage in more things, events is like one time. You don't get.
He wants designation. There is no designation, no meeting.
Okay.
He told me, you call your head. He will write to me, then only I will see.
Yeah, this
That
problem
happens quite a lot.
related.
It's a very universal problem.
That is
Yeah,
the problem.
when you are saying that you are a Wikipedia volunteer,
Doesn't carry any
doesn't care. But then I'm not evangelizing for the chapter and all. But then if you are saying you are a Kannada Sikh chair of Wikimedia India chapter, and sometimes that helps.
Most of them this happens.
I have
Most of them.
faced this problem many times. If you are saying
So,
you are a volunteer,
Yeah.
so what authenticity that you have for
Yeah.
talk about that?
So
It's-
even if I have a wish to do something, I am unable to do it.
But there is a, if you happen to be a CISO or administrator something in one of the Wikimedia projects, that sometimes help. Like
yeah, like it's about like I'm. let's
thing
say
is-
You can
I'm at,
even twist the words and say, you can say that I work for Wikipedia voluntarily.
it's about how you pitch. Like, or it's all about how you pitch.
no,
also.
Sunil very effectively uses Twitter.
But I just wanted to comment on Facebook. I think Facebook's algorithms are very unfair. And if you are somehow discriminated against by Facebook, like I think I have 1,500 friends on Facebook, but I rarely get any likes or comments on anything I do, ever.
I was told only 20% to 30% goes to your friends.
Try putting a picture of Poonam Pandey instead.
I do. Okay, maybe what I do is very boring, but almost nothing. Never is there a like or comment.
No, you got actually, I guess 5 likes for yesterday's photo.
But it's not mine, no?
So I put up yours and Abhishek's photo.
But I'm saying if I put, nothing happens.
There were two or three people who were friends with you. I just got that notification. So yeah, you get.
So like you
No,
said, the Facebook algorithm is unfair, and they have also said that organically it reaches maximum 16% of your people who are connected. So,
Then you have
but
to pay.
huh?
Then you have to
Then
pay.
else you have to pay. So you can always, they will be online on the chat. You can always give the link and drive. So once you have a critical lot of likes in this chart, the algorithm works in which that lot of more people get attention.
So once you start engaging people, you start commenting, they start commenting, then the reach increases.
Yes.
Comes in the top story.
It comes in the top story. So you could bring the first 10 people to comment, tag them, give them, you know how to take that link to that post, give them on the chat, talk to them. So that will drive conversation. Unfortunately, unless you pay, that is how Facebook is. And but then the fact is that we have to live with that, and people like me get a job because of it.
Twitter. Or maybe three things about Twitter. The first is the ratio of how many people you follow to the number of people who follow you. I refer to that as your snobbishness, your Twitter snobbishness. So at least I follow more aggressively. If people follow me and they tweet moderately, interestingly, then I'll definitely follow them. But there are some people who do not follow back. I think following back is generally good practice. People who don't follow back, maybe they are overloaded with information, so that's why they find it difficult. But I don't know, there may be many reasons. But I call it some kind of snobbishness. The second thing is, your tweeting should serve a clear function for you. There should be a personal reason why you think tweeting is important. Because I'm a researcher, I tweet and I use a plugin that connects Twitter to Delicious. Delicious is a social bookmarking service, and the plugin is called Packratis. So the moment I tweet, it also makes a bookmark in, and if the tweet has a link, then it automatically goes into Delicious. So that's why I tweet. The third thing I'd like to say is, getting attention might mean that you need to do, might mean that you need to be specialized. You must have some areas of interest, and you must be also ready to pick a fight. Because if you pick fights or respond to when people try and pick a fight with you, then I find that the people following increases during those periods. So there is no point saying non-controversial things, I think, on social media very generally. You have to have a point of view, and you should be willing to defend your point of view.
Yeah, like any publicity is a good publicity.
Yes.
So typical PR strategy that there is no publicity. They say there is no publicity that is bad unless you can control it. So whether it's negative publicity, if you can control it, it turns out to be good publicity. Yes.
This is something like the what